Welcome. Let us align and focus with purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart. Right spiritual motive involves merging of the personality self-will into that of the sacrificial will of the soul. Should you be viewing this recording or listening at another time, be certain to align with this group gathered to build a substantial field of group support for your endeavors in dissipating glamour and dispelling illusion. Our aim is to embody spiritual discernment, practice positive harmlessness, and eventually achieve a state of divine indifference as we dispel illusion, dissipate glamours, devitalize Maya in all of our relationships. I am one with my group brothers and sisters, and all that I have is theirs. May the love of the one soul pour forth to all. May the energy of the one soul lift and aid all. May the thoughts which the soul creates reach and encourage all. May the energy of the divine self be spread abroad in our hearts, through our groups, and throughout the world. The act of naming. Prior to beginning the technique of light for the dissipation of group glamour, we agree upon glamour that impacts aspirants and yet is not a minor glamour. Today, let us consider the whirlpool of glamours related to materialism. Consider the hindrances that this glamour manifests in your life and group work. See your part in it. Name your part in it. When you are doing this formula subjectively, using the group approach, consider in silence the glamour that has been named in silence while the recording is paused. For a period of up to 10 minutes of silent preparation, considering the glamour and how it affects your life, and then continue. With some assurance now that we are able to lift our consciousness out of the lower focus on desire and self-will, personality will, let us align as a group in the spiritual will of the group soul. We use the creative imagination to face the group members as if eye to eye and establish a soul-to-soul connection. In silence, we withdraw from personal and world affairs and center on the work to be done, setting up a magnetic field of positive, receptive activity in silence. The act of protection. We sound the protective formula using the sign of the cross of divinity, the great symbol of light and of consciousness, signifying the vertical light and the horizontal light, the power of attraction and the power of radiation, soul life and service. The long-armed vertical cross touching the forehead As a soul, I work in light, touching the center of the chest, and darkness cannot touch me, touching the left eye. I take my stand within the light. I work, and touching the right eye. And from that point, I never move. Maintaining a focused, immovable will as the point of tension. The identification of the brain, mind, and soul with the will aspect and the preservation of that identification. Unchanged and immovable in all circumstances and difficulties. Remembering that the will aspect is contacted only from the mental plane, and only those, therefore, who are working with and through the mind can begin to appropriate this energy. We begin the act of focusing the lights. Focusing the dual personality light of matter and of mind. We meditate on soul contact and the recognition of soul light. First, the blending and fusion of the two lesser lights and of soul light as an individual, and then this is carried forward as a group, each member making their contribution and consciously attempting to visualize the process of blending the triple light, which each contributes, into one sphere of light. Hearing the note of the soul, visualizing the light of the soul, the light of mind, and the light of matter, brain, merged and blended, recognizing, feeling the intent of the soul. From that high point of soul focus and using the triple light, we merge and blend first our individual lights and then see the individual lights merging and blending into one group center. And we see those joining us from the other side of the veil, and the light of the senior disciples and initiates serving to dissipate glamour, bringing their light as this triple light group light, the group soul, the realized unity of the souls of all the group members. The great searchlight grows, expands into one great light. Then we say in unison, at a signal from the leader, the light is one, and in that light shall we see light. This is the light that turns the darkness into day. We sound the Om as a group soul on its own plane, sounded forth by the group soul, the realized unity of the souls of all the group members. Sounding the Om as the soul on the mental plane. Sounding the Om as the soul on the astral plane, the soul ready to function as light bearer and distributor of light upon the astral plane. As we sound the mantra of light, we visualize the turning of the great searchlight, which we have jointly created by our unified light, onto the glamour to be dissipated. Holding the light steady and realizing mentally the work of dissipation it is intended to do through this act of direction. Radiance we are and power. We stand forever with our hands stretched out, linking the heavens and the earth, the inner world of meaning and the subtle world of glamour. We reach into the light and bring it down to meet the need. We reach into the silent place and bring from thence the gift of understanding. Thus, with the light we work and turn the darkness into day. We pause for a few minutes as we attempt to throw behind the searchlight our united, directed, and dynamic will or intent along the projected beam of light, the destructive quality of the spiritual will, destructive to all that hinders the manifestation of divinity. We have attained a united point of tension. We are dedicated, the individual and the group will, to the will of God. This act of will, carried on by each member of the group silently, with a deep realization that all of us are thus accepted, and that it is the group which is being silently focused. Then we say together, with power upon its beam, the light is focused on the goal. In the act of projection, we utter the words of power, naming the glamour of expectation in all its forms as a hindrance to group service, thus bringing it consciously into relation with the focused light. We begin the task of dissipation. The power of our united light prevents the appearance of the glamour of materialism in all its forms. The power of our united light negates the quality of the glamour of materialism in all its forms from affecting humanity. The power of our united light destroys the life behind the glamour of materialism in all its forms. These words are our act of affirmation and gain strength from the experience of each of us and from our familiarity and regular use. Then comes the act of penetration, an important aspect of the work in which we visualize the gradual dissipation and dispersal of the glamour by the penetration of the light into its darkness. We endeavor to see the glamour disintegrating and the reality emerging, doing this by an effort of the creative imagination. Each of us does this in our own way and according to our own understanding and capacity. Now follows 5 minutes of silence, an intensity of purpose, while we wait for the work instituted to go forward. As a group, we withdraw our consciousness from the astral plane and the world of glamour. We refocus attention, first of all, on the mental plane, and then on the soul plane, relinquishing all thought of the glamour, knowing that the work has been successfully carried forward. We reorganize ourselves as a group in relation to the kingdom of souls and to each other. Occultly speaking, the searchlight of the soul is shut off. We sound the Om in group formation, and then, in order to emphasize that the group work is ended, the leader for the group sounds the Om aloud and says, Om. So let it be, and help us in our group life to end all glamour and untruth. And
Om. So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth. Andrea?
Om. So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth. Martine.
Oh, so let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth.
Now, Martine. Now, Martine.
So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and truth.
Donna.
So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth.
Heike.
Om. So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth.
Mary Gale.
So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth.
Yvonne.
Om. So let it be, and help me in my own life to end all glamour and untruth.
Thank you all. And for those of you who are joining us by listening to the recording, please sound that statement with your own and join that energy with the group unity. So we will continue in a separate recording today with a dialogue And we are attempting in all that we do to touch the rain cloud of noble things. We reach toward the spiritual triad with our thoughts and on the gift waves that we receive from the masters and senior disciples, always clear and free of the fogs of glamour and illusion. We'll begin our dialogue today. For those of you who would like to receive a copy of that recording, please put a note in the, if you're listening to this recording, put a note in the YouTube or in the Mighty Networks so that we can send that recording to you. Thank you all. We're going to end this recording now and begin this dialogue on the glamour of expectation and the glamour of materialism and how those are related. Thank you again for this service.